I have spoken with some people about the podcast. They believe you are so well spoken and that you are someone that can convey great ideas with a great voice.
I'm gonna make sure this is recorded and sent to my parents. But it's these wonderful things, these nice, sweet little things, these words that we say, they're not just words. They're creating a beautiful ambiance for ourselves and those around us, and that's the intention.
And I will only say two things. I also think the same about you, so it's not only them. And second, behind every well spoken podcaster, there is one good editor.
You know what? That is true. To your credit, it's the way you set it up, the way you ask questions, and the way you share your thoughts, and the ambience that you're creating also is, you know, uh, it it's easy to say what I need to say, and it's easy to keep the conversation going. So, which is why we're doing this. So, gracias, señor.
We have a lot to talk about in this episode.
This topic is it's it's going to resonate with a lot of people, I am sure, and it's going to cause a lot of ruckus and it's going to bring some spice. It's going to bring some chatter and things of that nature, and I'm also excited.
When you look back in your childhood, what is that street food that comes to your mind?
Hands down, gupchup, and it's got so many names: gupchup, puchka, pani puri. It's got a lot of names. I think like somewhere in the ballpark of like 8 to 12 names, if I'm not mistaken. So it's basically these semolina fried balls, like a puff kind of thing that puffs up. You take a finger, of course, like your thumb, and then you make a little dip in it. You plop it, and that way you could put some stuff like peas, uh, chickpeas, potatoes, onions. You dip it in this water, spiced water, and you put it in your mouth. And oh boy, my mouth is watering right now. It's gupchup is like shh. That's literally like what it could translate to. Chup means shh, silence in Hindi, and when you put it in your mouth, like you can't talk because the thing takes up the whole mouth, and like if you were to talk,
Yeah.
you know, it's not a pretty sight.
When I think about street food, I think about huancaína, made of ají amarillo and also some milk and cheese and crackers. And you have to boil some potatoes. And once you mix all these ingredients that I just mentioned, all these boiled potatoes, you have to peel them and then you cut them in half and you put the huancaína sauce, you know, on top of this boiled potatoes. And there is something about that that it's the perfect combination. It's so tasty, it's so creamy, it's so salty at the same time sweet. And usually I used to have this huancaina with some ceviche because you can also find ceviche in the streets. Like it's very common. So, right, but no, it's also found like a street food. And you will go there and you will ask for ceviche and huancaina. And there's something about this mix of fish and cream sauce. And I used to have that when I was 5 years old, 6 years old. And my mom was always very impressed about how I was able to tolerate that level of spiciness. But that was me as a kid. I mean, since then, I never stopped. I always enjoy spicy food until this day. In Peru, we have a huge variety of street food. But I would like to first ask you, what are the ones that we need to know from the Indian street food?
So, hands down, like for breakfast, because I mostly lived in the southern India. So for breakfast, idli, vada, dosha, those are like the staple breakfast. Idli is made out of moong and rice, and it's fermented overnight. And next day, you have the special container where you could put the batter, and then you would steam it. And then you have these fluffy little round circular cake kind of things that you dip in different kinds of sauce. We call it chutney, and that would be coconut chutney. Of course, it's a little bit on the spicy side, um, but it's just so good. Um, and then some also have it with like peanut chutney. So like, um, so yeah, that's idli. And then you also have vada. Vada is made with a similar thing, but it's it looks like a donut. You deep fry it, and it's one of my favorites.
That is so interesting because we also have our own version of that, I think. We call it picarones. And it's kind of like a rounded donut, basically, with a little hole in the center. And we fry that kind of sweet because you will pour some honey on it. They are made of this yeast dough that consists of either squash or sweet potato, actually. And you have to, get these little pieces of dough and they are pinched off and then stretched to have this, form or shape of a donut with a hole in the center. Basically, what you do is you fry that dough and you just wait for it to have that texture, of kind of the golden brown, yeah, texture. And then you add the syrup, right? That is made of sometimes honey, sometimes chancaka. That's some another, yeah, yeah. It's very sweet syrup that we have in Peru. And it's delicious. It's so good. Sounds like it. I used to have that a lot when I was a kid. Every single Peruvian that I know have tried at least once picarones, and most of us, I think, we like it.
Yeah, it sounds like something I definitely want to try. I wonder, do you have anything that's like spicy version of it too?
Um, I guess if you mean like something spicy that has that donut shape, I don't
Yeah,
think there's something that can come to my mind at this moment.
yeah. So poha. This is like rice flakes. They're kind of like thin, and Maharashtrians, they make it like really, really good. So you have so they spice it with like vegetables, like carrots, peas, potatoes, um, and then like once it's nice and hot, it's wrapped in these in this little packet. So you open it, and then like that steam just hits you in the face, and you're like, oh my goodness, this is the stuff. And then you cut. some lemon, and then you sprinkle on it. You take a bite of it. You visit heaven at like 8 a.m. in the morning, and then you come back.
That's good.
So yeah, idli, and then dosha. Dosha has its own fan base, man. Like dosha, masala dosha,
Yeah.
and like with the advent of internet, there's so many kinds of doshas. It is ridiculous, and some are. I'm sorry to say this. Some they're abomination. Some have, um, like I don't know, man. Like
Chocolate.
they're putting like Oreos in it, and don't like I don't even want to talk about it.
They
Like,
are just not for you, but some people might like it. Come on.
yeah, okay, fine, fine. I respect your freedom, your
What is more, yesterday I had that doja actually. You the other one. I just need to address something here
yes.
that maybe needs to be addressed. Are you mentioning only vegetarian options?
You know what?
So the vegetarian culture in India is very particular. Like it's not like here in the States. Like you meet someone called Ryan and yeah, he's vegetarian, good for him. But in India, it's like part of the culture. Oh yeah, I'm from this part of India. Oh yeah, you're expected to be vegetarian.
That's a good question, and I used to wonder about this also. But overall, um, even in before I had gone to this relatively vegetarian dominant place. I mean, one can say that like, okay, if you belong to this particular group, then chances are you're vegetarians. You're vegetarian. Um, if you are from this particular geographic region, you might be vegetarian. Although, like, I mean, I wish it was as easy to generalize like that. But
Mm.
there's, of course, as with things in life, there's little nuances. Um,
Always. Yeah.
generally, so like generally, people who happen to be like from say priestly families,
Right.
they're they're usually vegetarian. And people who are more spiritually inclined, religious, conservative, they're usually vegetarian, generally speaking. And of course,
Mhm.
exceptions in the family and leniency, all those things, they play a part, right?
Can
Um,
you tell if someone is vegetarian by their last name as well?
sometimes you can, but again, if you're not factoring individual's preference, right? Like for say, like if somebody has like a Brahmin last name, um,
Right.
then chances are they could be. And then
I see.
depends like if depending on their practice, their cultural, um, aspect. Um,
Nothing is set in stone.
it is not set in stone, um, but yeah, it is not set in stone specifically, but there could be like certain indications.
Right.
Like if you were to so if you happen to have a friend who has a particular last name, like say Sharma, or
Yeah.
somebody that is like a Brahmin's like last name, right? And then once you find out, like, okay, oh, they're Brahmins, and then you'll be like, oh, are you a vegetarian? Then you could be like,
No.
then they'll tell you what they need to tell you.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like some Punjabis, um, they're vegetarian also. I was, when I was surprised to find out myself, and Gujaratis, like good chunk of them are vegetarians also. Um, like and also yeah, there's a lot of generally like I think India has a good chunk of vegetarian population, and I'm glad you asked about this because um, certain sensitivities needs to be addressed, and
Yes.
some light needs to be shown upon this, right? Like For example, if I were to receive like some sort of flyer, right? And as a customer, um, you're selling pizza and I'm a vegetarian and all I see on this flyer is like a pepperoni pizza, then like it's just not going to sit well with me because, where I'm coming from, um, I mean, I'm not talking about me, but like the perception, right? Like mm,
Yeah.
it's going completely against the beliefs and what we hold dear to, right? Especially if it's tied to certain aspects like spirituality and religion and stuff like that, right? Culture, traditions. So,
Yes.
tiny little nuances like I think like asking and then maybe customizing, I think would be a better uh, option overall for businesses, so to speak.
How do you start your journey being a vegetarian?
Right. So vegetarians, the way I see it is two kinds. Your it's your default mode, and then sometimes you go rogue, and then you switch, and then sometimes you might switch back. Uh,
When I look back at the street food that we have in Peru,
Mhm.
we are not very vegetarian friendly, actually.
Mm.
We have a lot of options. Like I think I mentioned, we have ceviche with huancaína, my favorite. We have some other options. For instance, we have charqui con huevo,
What
which
is
is
that?
basically, yeah, basically dried meat with boiled eggs,
Mhm.
and the combination is great. Um, it's very salty, high in sodium, so we should just go light on that sometimes. But yeah, it's very very good. But again, it's dry meat, so it's not a vegetarian option. Anticuchos, oh my god, anticuchos are so good. The heart of the cow, once that is done and is really um, well done, then you put that in that little stick, right? And it's kind of skewered. But again, it's not a vegetarian option, right? So the only vegetarian option I can think of right now is picarones as a street food. And
Right.
it's kind of like a dessert, right? You also have other options for desserts. You have mazamorra, you have also arroz con leche. Arroz con leche is, arroz means rice, leche means milk. So basically, what you do is you put some rice and some condensed milk and some whole milk as well, um, and you just kind of like boil that with rice. You add some sugar and some cinnamon, some maybe orange peeled, and there you go.
Orange peel.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And it's really good. Um, it's really tasty. It's my favorite actually. I like the cinnamon. That combination of milk and cinnamon and condensed milk is it's really good. And the rice texture as well. In 1 cup, always arroz con leche at the bottom and mazamorra on top. That is always the combination. For some reason, that combination is perfect. It has a lot of cinnamon. It's sweet. The texture is good. Um, it's great.
You mentioned Peru, right? Like, and in Andean regions, like quinoa, that's I mean, it's basically from. I mean, I'm sure it's grown everywhere ubiquitously, um, but I just remember because like I used to get this bag from Costco, and it said like from Andean regions. I'm like, oh wow, look at me, you know. Uh, but like, is quinoa quite really like your staple?
Used to go to this, corner in the street where my med school is located. And because you had to go there very early, like 7 a.m., 6:30 a.m., very early. So you will not be able to have breakfast sometimes because you have to be there on time. So you go to this corner and you find these people that have these little like carts or stalls where you will find quinoa actually. 1 cup of quinoa for 1 sol, which is actually um like maybe 25 cents of a dollar. of a US dollar. So it's actually pretty cheap. And it's very hot, hot quinoa with milk. Very good and sweet. They will always have, some extra sugar because we like it that way, right?
Right.
So, yeah, quinoa in a cup. And then, because you need to eat something, right? They will have this bread that we have in Peru. It's a very common bread that we call pan francés. Francés means French. Pan means bread. So we have this French bread. Why we call it French bread? I would love to know. So if you guys know why it's called French bread, please let me know because it's something that is bugging me until this day. But so you find this French bread with some tortilla, spinach tortilla, sausage tortilla. Some people put sometimes fried fish inside of the French bread. Or my favorite, palta, which means avocado in English. So a French bread with some palta, you know, stuffed with palta and some salt on top. Oh my god. At 6:30 a.m. with your quinoa, with your hot quinoa, burning your lips, even worse than a Starbucks coffee. Oh, that's my breakfast. So on the healthy spectrum, we also have always jugo de naranja. Jugo de naranja is orange juice. And that is something that you will find everywhere. You will find that. You will find someone selling orange juice. So they have this cart, right? And they have this little manual machine or kind of thing that they will just put the orange in and manually they will need to just peel the orange. But yeah, the thing is that you will just find these little carts where people sell orange juice, and you will also have, this maybe vanilla cake, tangerine juice, orange juice. Those are the most commons. And of course, if you go to a market, inside of a market, that's where you will find some other, like little stalls, right? Where you will find people selling like more variety of juice, like strawberry juice with milk, strawberry juice, papaya juice, pineapple juice, and all that. Maybe that could be considered a street food slash maybe not because it's inside of a market. But what I'm talking about is all this big culture of orange juice, which is big in Peru. You can find it everywhere. And another thing you can always find is people selling ice cream. People selling ice cream in Peru is such a staple. Yes. We have this brand that it's not Peruvian, I think. I don't think it's Peruvian, but it's called Donofrio. Okay. And Donofrio sells like, ice cream. And oh my gosh, like, when you tell me about, hey, let's have some ice cream, I think about this guy with his ice cream cart.
When you mentioned ice cream and, similar situation, when I was maybe 3 or 4, um, I don't know why, like sometimes my elder cousin just loved, treating me, right? Like and like this, very close to the night. Um, the street, I guess, was still buzzing. And he had this bike. I was tiny enough, like I'd sit on the handlebar, and then, he snuck me out, and then we went to this place. It's called Mozamzai Market, and they used to sell ice cream. Not just any ice cream, bro. This ice cream was custard apple flavor. And my goodness, when I had this ice cream, I didn't know that this was going to be the most important ice cream of my life.
And it's so important for me to point out that I'm only talking about the food that I experienced, me being in Lima, which, it's kind of like the capital city.
Mhm.
So me growing up in the city, I think is a different experience compared to someone that was, raised in the, Andean region or the rainforest.
Right.
Because I bet they also have their own version of street food that I maybe have not experienced.
Mhm.
One that I think I can talk about is the one that I have in the rainforest, which it's kind of like the staple. I maybe would say it's more for tourists like me because I'm not from the rainforest. I'm from the city. I'm not from that area. City, so yep. So when I was there, I tried suri, and suri is very interesting. It's not for everyone, but suri is this worm.
Oh.
Okay, so it's this kind of like chubby worm.
Mm.
Um, that yeah, it's not a maggot, it's a worm. It's this little chubby worm, right? That they fried and they put some salt, and there you go. Go eat it. And I ate mine, and they make it in front of you. They really grab the worms that they have that they're alive, and they will just put them in this little stick, right? And they will just fry it in them, and they'll give it to you. There you go. And I ate that with one of my friends, right? We were like, one, two, three, go. And I ate that, and it was horrible, man. So sorry for all the sooty advocators, but it was disgusting. It was so bad. No bueno. No bueno.
In terms of um, other kinds of foods, let's talk about the relationship.
Yes,
You know,
I love that.
um, we you like what was that like going to this your regular um ice cream
Mm.
ice cream cart person, and then they're like, "Oh, you're here," and you're like, "Yes, I am," and then you hand them your money, and then they give you your favorite. They remember your favorite your favorite flavor. What is that like? Can you recall any experiences like that?
Yes. When you are a recurring customer, you are called caserito, caserita, in Peru. Sometimes it's used like both ways. Like, the vendor is also called caserito, I think. But usually when you're a recurring customer, you're called caserito, caserita. And when you go back to the same person, right? Um, to go buy, in my case, right? Huancaína, papa de huancaína, um, or maybe arroz con leche, you feel recognized. You feel trusted, you know? You feel like you are part also of their daily rhythm, you
Mhm.
know? And you go there because you know what you're gonna order, and they know what you're gonna order, you know? And you can just sense that energy. And that's where you go back because you go back to not only fulfill yourself from food, but also from their energy
Yeah.
and what they transmit. I think that there is also this sense of, being a caserito also implies some loyalty, right? Because you will go back. Um, there is this sense of familiarity without an obligation because you willingly want to go back there and, you know, go back and buy sometimes the same thing, sometimes try something new. Um, but you get to sense this mutual care, right? Like you go there and, you know, you can sometimes ask, hey, or maybe they ask you, hey, how was your day like? How you been? How's family?
Mm.
How are your kids? And you start this little conversation, this little small talk, right? That you sometimes expect, is going to happen. And that's why you go back,
Yeah,
you know?
that's true. And I feel like in a fast-paced world, um, there's not much of room for that. And this is why I love, like, back home, for these kind of interactions. And I'm sure here it happens also, in other countries. But Those are very special. Like I think these are things that are sometimes undermined in the hustle bustle of life, like these relationship. Just buying something small, and but it means so much because you're not just serving them food or their favorite dessert or whatever, but you're carefully crafting a human experience, a core memory you know, for a child or, um, a future leader, so to speak, right? Sometimes these words of encouragement could go a very long way for, a kid who's probably like bullied or is being bullied. And maybe it would stop somebody from bullying somebody, right? And, and that care, it really, really means a lot, especially to a child, because they say that it takes a village to raise a child, right? And
Yes.
and relationships are just so nurturing, and you know, and if we could remember, like sometimes you may, for me, it was like when I was younger, like it was hard to have that, say, couple of rupees or money sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if I asked, like when I was with my parents, like I didn't need it because, like they would just provide. But if I wanted to go explore by myself and then like wanted to have it, and if I didn't have, those 2 rupees or whatever, like
Yeah.
just like, okay, I need to go this Thursday or Tuesday. They're going to be there. Like I better have that gupchup or whatever. Like, and like just that struggle, that striving
Yeah.
and then like you do all of this and then like they hand you that little cup and then they ask you how your day is and like it's just like it just feels so good, like it feels like
Suddenly, it was all worth it.
it was all worth it. Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah.
and man, sometimes, like not sometimes but generally, they're wise people. We forget that they have so many interactions, which means a lot of life experiences.
That's true.
And then this, 2 3 rupees that you're paying for,
Yeah.
and you're getting so much knowledge, and and it really, really goes a long way.
Absolutely. And sometimes, if you don't have the money, you can even ask, "Can I pay you later?"
Right.
Because they know that you're gonna come back, right?
Right. Yeah, that's true. And that does happen. Like, yeah, how many times does it happen? So many times.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. In Peru, we call it like fiar. Me puedes fiar? Like, can you just let me pay you later? And sometimes they will have this little book
Ye
or booklet where
yeah,
we can take notes of that, like in this little notebook.
right. Oh, we have something, like that too. I forget,
Yeah, they always used
it's
to
not the
that.
barter system, I don't think that's the word, but, it's, the accounts, right? Like, we call it kata. "Oh, put it in my kata, put it in my account," you know?
Ooh, I see. Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, we also say that. Ponlo en mi cuenta. Put it on my account. Yeah.
what do you call it?
Ponlo en mi cuenta. Put it on my account.
Put it
Yeah.
on the account, yeah. So, and then, like, it's just, uh, it's recurring, and, like, that had a status of its own, right? It's like, now you really know that you get along well with them, and, like, they know you know you. It's like, oh, it's like, you know, that relationship is established.
Yes. Forever.
Yeah,
No way back.
yeah, and then you bring your friends and then, like, and then now,
Oh, yeah.
they're like, "Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, just it's okay, bro. Don't worry. I got this." It's like, "Uncle, put it in my kata."
They're coming with me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then now your friends looking at you like, "Oh, high roller." Can you think of uh, b any other core memories that, you're still like, or that taste that you're still on the search for? There's this, we call it, budgie. Budgie is, um, like a fried, um, I don't want to say fritter. Is it fritter? So I guess it's fritter. So we'll just call it budgie, and then we'll like maybe do a voiceover, like just slap a picture on here, calling explaining what it is. So there's potato budgie, there is mirchi budgie. Potato is aloo, so aloo budgie, and mirchi is um, pepper, green pepper chili. And there's different kinds of chilies too, right? Man, and generally, like I think with the advent of internet, there is this. Um, Unfortunately, some people advertising like, "Oh, Indian street food is so uncleanly and not hygienic or whatever," right? Uh, and unfortunately, in some cases, it is. That is true, which definitely needs addressing. And I think people need to take the initiative of making place clean. Um, and that's a whole nother topic. Um, but I also wanted to say what it is. I mean, if initially, like if a place is hygienic, you're not gonna go there. But it had to start from somewhere, like somewhere clean. And I mean, what's the initial um like as a customer, if you're going to go eat somewhere, what is the first thing that you do? Like you look for a place that is clean, something that has reputation, something that is nourishing and things of that nature, right? So in that sense, I'm thinking and honoring some of these vendors that were like, that delivered quality product. I remember this one very young guy, right? Like in the evening time, like after the sunset, um, where m- we would have these cravings like for spicy food. And I have yet to taste an aloo bhaji that is like that I have tasted about third close to, couple 2 3 decades ago. Like I still remember the taste of it. He brought it in the steel can, opened the lid, and as he opened the lid, like the smell just kind of hit you, and then you hear the sound of like the steam steel can opening. It's like boom, and you're like, oh. And then now that smell hits you. And then he puts a newspaper here, and then I think with that leaf I was talking about, and then he puts like these hot, piping hot aloo bhaji on there, and he hands it to you, nice and crisp, golden thing. You take a bite, and you know, because this is like evening prayer time, you've just tasted God, and oh, it was. And now you just have this spiritual experience thanks to this one guy, doing the service. And, you know, um, and then and then I also, later on, there is a gentleman named Rachappa. So shout out to Rachappa, in the streets of Hyderabad, like, um, in the mornings, like he would come and then he would pretty much deliver this clean, delicious. I was talking about idli vada, right? Earlier, like he would give us that. And man, like once we had that, bro, we were set. Like we were so satisfied, and we were just take care of the customers. And like, and he was just such an important part of this ecosystem of this business, because when other customers came, um, we had to cater to them, right? Like, and oh my goodness. And then customer service back then used to be next level. We would offer customers like tea on the regular. So like whenever a customer came, we were like, first thing we're saying is like, hey, chai latte. Chai is tea. Latte is like, if there's a person that is, kind of helping you, we're like, all right, please order uh, 2 3 teas or whatever, right? And sometimes you'd be like, oh, would you like to have something? And Rachappa comes to the rescue and like dishes you some delicious uh idli vada or whatever the case may be. And they're it's kind of like so neatly woven into the fabric of like this business. And And I really love the word you used, the rhythm, right? And it's just like such a beautiful flow. And
Yes.
it's so hard to find that these days. Like right now, you go to a store and it's just like, you're just buying a product. That's it. Like
Let's
there
bring it
is,
back then. Let's bring it back.
yeah.
I would
And
say that I like when you mention that some people felt some peace or like felt better when they were like going back to the same, place where they can just buy some street food. Because when you go back to somewhere you already know and feel comfortable, somehow the city becomes smaller and safer, you know? And I really like what you said about the bullying, right? How someone can find some peace and some, you know, starting to feel better, because you're with someone that you trust.
yeah, I like the fact that you mentioned that because recently, not too far from where I live, this is, it's unprecedented. Like it's not very common to see like such a huge crowd having street food. So very close to where I live, they open something like that. And then they
Yeah.
have like this pani puri and like whole it's kind of like a little India of a sort. And then you have that street food experience. When drove, I just drove by it
Yeah.
and I just saw this buzzing and this energy was there, you know? And I think like I had a similar experience when I kind of drove through Niagara Falls this one night. It's like, even in this chaos or even in this loudness, you just find peace. You just feel like you're
Yeah.
you're amongst people. You
Exactly.
belong in a way.
Yeah.
You know, you see little kids running around with their balloons, and you see this little dog just running about, and then somebody's laughing, somebody's holding hands, somebody,
Yeah.
is just like trying to find their car, and someone else is helping them. And it's just, there is this saying in Telugu, it's like, Deshamante matti kaadoi, Deshamante manushuloy. Desham means country, and matti means mud. So Deshamante matti kaadu, which means like a country is not soil or mud or it's not a piece of land. It's the people. Desham ante manushuloy. Manushulu means people. So
Mm.
the country is the people, you know? And I think we touched on something that's very important because the people of the country, like they're basically like different kinds of relationships, right? Like different interactions and they're all nurturing in one way or another if one is fortunate enough to grow
Yes.
in that era.
Yeah.
And
That's so true.
from the surface of it, it just looks like, oh, street food, idli vada, oh yeah, it tastes good, yummy, oh yeah, I had this wonderful experience. But there's also somebody thinking of you the night before and then trying to perfect this product, trying to make it a wonderful thing, a wonderful experience. Somebody's preparing for this like day and night, and sometimes this is a family business, right? So it's not just
Yeah.
the mother or father, but it's also the kids that are in this. They're also helping, and it's just and everybody's working behind the scenes for each other.
Yes.
And shout out to the parents that would give these 2 rupees, 3 rupees, whatever the case may be, so that the kid can go have this wonderful experience. And it's just so beautiful. And going to these gupchup bandis or like these places, the street food vendors, with my dad and my mom, and sometimes like with my relatives, like it was so special, so special, you know. And it's just I don't know. I think it's for those that are fortunate to be around that, and for those that are fortunate enough to create those situations for themselves. I think it's a good reminder to revive those memories and have an experience again before, as the clock is ticking for everybody.
I would also like to say that when I was in New York, I got to experience how was the street food there, right? And it's such a big culture. Like everyone is, everyone knows that New York is a hub for many cultures.
Mhm.
And I've seen Mediterranean cultures like kebabs. I've seen there's one that's called halaman food. I think it's one that, Muslims can eat
Hello.
because halal, that's the one. I've seen halal carts maybe around
Mhm.
New York. Um, Hot dogs also
Mhm.
big time.
New
It's
York food scene deserves a whole nother episode. And
Ooh, yes. Oh
did you
man.
know that there is um, grandmas? Like there's one particular restaurant that
Yeah.
is the chefs are grandmas. And I think the
Oh
restaurant
my God.
closes at a particular time because the grandmas need to go to bed. Like it's so adorable. Uh,
I love
I,
that.
I I don't know the name of it, but maybe we could find and
Yeah.
look it
But I
up.
would
But
like to,
it's
I know.
when I found that out, I'm like, I need to go there. It's on my list.
Absolutely. And I wanted to say that, right? I mean, how big it is, the street food culture in New York,
Mhm.
how you can find this blend of many cultures and countries.
Yeah.
When I was in Brazil, um, I only experienced mostly the beach area, and I saw how people were, drinking coconut water. It was
Agua de coco.
agua de coco. So it was such a, common thing. Um, and sometimes they go to the beach. They have some acarajé, acai ice cream as well.
Mm.
That you can put a lot of toppings on it.
Mhm.
And of course, you can have a beer or like some drinks. Why not? So yeah, seeing all that culture um, that is also considered street food was also great. Um, but yeah, I think that there's so many options out there. I wish I, could talk with people from other countries to see what other things they have as street food and how is the culture or the relationships they have with people and when they just, go to someone they trust and they would like to come back to have more food or yeah, all that. That'll be beautiful. But what we can do is search what's the top 10 best street food around the world. So
Mhm.
what's the top 10 that we have?
I'll take a guess as you're searching it up. What I want to say is pizza. Pizza, burger, I'm sure makes the list. Um, are we also counting desserts?
I think so. Maybe everything. I don't know. I will Google a top 10 best street food list
Yeah.
and let's see what shows up.
I'll tell you my top 10 Indian. Um, so okay, I'll tell you. So as I mentioned, idli vada dosha. So that's like
Yeah.
three. Wait, idli vada dosha. Yeah, three. Poha, like
Okay.
Maharashtrian made, like piping hot with potato, lemon, lemon squeezed. That's one. Four, five. Pav Bhaji. Pav Bhaji has a very interesting historic story. How it came about.
Yeah.
It has to do with. Um, okay, I'll explain that later. Six. There is Mysore. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing injustice to Mysore Bonda. Mysore Bonda, like if it's done right, like it takes the cake with top one. Mysore Bonda or Mysore Bhaji, or some would probably call it Bonda. Um, And then there is what, three more, four more left, right? Um, chole, I guess chole puri is it's one. Okay, Hyderabadi biryani, bro.
Hmm.
Like that's no doubt there. Something called cutlet. Um, that's easily one of the best. And oh no, I'm with sadness. I'm saying this. Uh, okay, for 10, like I'll just say bunch of them. Kachori,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
mirchi
that
bhaji,
works.
aloo bonda. Uh,
So it's a template.
oh my God, curry puff, hands down,
Compost.
curry puff. Yeah.
That's a number 10.
Like it's probably like top one, but
Oh,
because we have to like structurally order it, unfortunately, that's what I'm
right.
doing.
Yeah, I see.
And this is not even touching desserts, man. Desserts, bro, Indian desserts, they're next level. We had something called Dilkush when we were younger. Oh, like Dil means heart, Kush means happiness. And this thing deserves that name rightly so because that's how it made us feel when we ate it. So it's basically this bun that's like a pizza slice, fresh bun at the top, layered with creamy yumminess that is mixed with like something called tutti frutti. So it has a bunch of that, and I think it also has some sort of nuts in it, if I'm not mistaken. Bro, like I'm like there right now. I am like a part of me is here, but like I'm there. I'm taking a bite, and the smell of that freshness. It's I think they put like vanilla essence. It knocks you out, bro. It's like you take a bite, like nothing else exists but this experience.
I believe you.
Yeah.
I wish I had that in front of me right now so I could give it a good bite.
Yeah, it's
But
like we have to make it. We'll take a trip to India, and I know
we
it's
will.
happening at some point.
Yeah, it
It's
must be a couple of rupees.
what?
Uh, It must be just a couple of rupees, for
It'll
us to
probably
travel
won't be a
to.
couple of rupees, but whatever it is, it'll be worth it. I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. I believe you, like I said.
I'm
Um,
not even here. I know physically it looks like I'm here, but streets of India is where I am right now.
so in Peru, you can also find quail eggs, boiled quail eggs.
Mhm,
People just love to buy like five of those, put some salt in it,
mhm.
go. You're all set. When I talk about quinoa, right, in a cup, it's not only quinoa, you can also ask for maca. Maca is
Maca.
also another one. Very similar to quinoa. The Incas used to have a lot of maca, and
Really?
apparently it has a lot of properties. Like they really give you a lot of energy and a good boost in the morning.
Mm.
So
What does
yeah,
it look
that
like?
one's I would say that, maca looks like a potato, maybe
Mm.
like a jello potato,
How do you spell it?
but maca is spelled Maca. So my number one would be that specific ceviche
Mm.
with huancaína sauce, right? With crema de huancaína. You asked me about this, right? I think that until this day, I haven't tasted something like that when I'm not at home, right? When I'm craving some ceviche with huancaína, oh my God, that huancaína they have there, it's so good. It tastes the same. And it's been years because the first time I had it from this little stall was when I was 5 years old. And now it's been years, right? And the flavor is still the same. So it's crazy how this really can take you back in time. My top number one would be that ceviche with huancaína. Number two would be picarones.
Mm.
Picarones, so good. My number three would be my quinoa with my pan con palta, this French bread
Oh,
with
yeah.
avocado and some salt. Now my number four would be anticuchos. Um, just very well done anticuchos. With some boiled potatoes as well. And number five would be, yeah, charqui con huevo, definitely. Um, that one really takes me back to when I was with my mom and I was just helping her with the business that she had, and we didn't have time for lunch, so we used to have charqui con huevo, and I was happy. Okay, this is from tasteatlas.com.
Taste
All
at.
right,
Okay, that sounds
taste atlas.
somewhat legit.
Yeah. So number 10, we have India. Number 10. Um, yeah, number 10 goes for Amritsari Kulcha.
Oh, okay. I've
Did I
heard
say it
good
right?
things about it, I think.
Did I say it right?
Amritsari kulcha. Yep.
Number 9 goes to China. And they have this Siu Mei. Oh, I heard about Siu Mei. Haven't you?
Um, is it like a relative of chow mein?
Probably I'm not Chinese, but Siumei, let me tell you about siumei. Refers to a style of Chinese cuisine that is primarily characterized by roasting meat with spits over an open fire or in a rotisserie oven. Okay, they don't describe this. These dishes are typically served with rice and vegetables and sometimes with noodles. Siumei meats are often displayed hanging in restaurant windows, a characteristic sign in Chinese eateries that specialize in this style of cooking. This visual display is not only appetizing, but it also allows customers to select their preferred cuts of meat. Siu Mei. Oh, it looks good, man. Huh?
Sue
It
mein.
looks good. Siu Mei. Oh, yeah. Number 8 goes to Vietnam. Vietnam with banh mi hay quay. If I'm not pronouncing it right, I will just go with English
Honorable
pronunciation.
mentions to bibimbap.
It's, yeah, roasted pork belly banh mi. So banh mi hei quay is a traditional banh mi sandwich variation made with roasted pork belly as the main ingredient. The pork is roasted with a thick layer of salt and spices. Looks good. Yeah, roasted pork belly banh mi. Number 7 goes to Peru. Nice. Number
Represent.
7, we have anticuchos. I talked to you about that, right?
Mhm.
Number 6 goes to Mexico. Yes. Mexico with quesadilla or birria tacos. Interesting.
I've had some good
Quesadilla.
vegetarian tacos in Mexico.
Good.
Yeah, they had like
Quesadilla.
potatoes and it was spiced. It was a soft taco. It was really good.
Awesome. Quesabirria is a popular Mexican street food dish, a fusion between birria, a traditional Mexican meat stew, and quesadillas. The dish originates from Tijuana and typically consists of large tortillas filled with birria-style cooked meat, usually beef, and a generous amount of melted cheese. The tortillas are cooked on the stove until the cheese melts and the outside of the tortilla becomes crispy. Quesabirria is often accompanied by a slide of broth or consomme for dipping, adding another layer of flavor to the dish. Quesabirria, number 9. Number 6, sorry. Number 5 goes to China as well with guotie. Guotie, yes. Number 4 goes to Egypt. Ooh, with tameja or Egyptian falafel.
Oh, falafel.
Yeah, falafel. So yeah, it looks good. Often taught as the original version of falafel, tameja is an Egyptian variety of the Middle Eastern fritter that
calls for fava beans instead of chickpeas. Interesting. While the exact origin of falafel is debatable, most scholars and food historians agree that ta'amidja has its roots in the Egyptian cuisine. Then we have number three, Indonesia with Said Kambing. Indonesia. So yeah, Said Kambing. I never tried that one, but Said Kambing is a traditional dish and a type of satay prepared with goat or mutton as the main ingredient. Number two goes to Greece. Number two goes to kontosovli. Kontosovli. Kontosovli is a traditional dish consisting of large pieces of pork marinated in a mixture of herbs and spices, then skewered and slowly cooked on a rotisserie, much like a gyro or like a souvlaki. Interesting. So yeah, number two goes to Greece. And number one, do you want to know number one? Number one is karantika. Yeah, karantika from Algeria. So known as karantika in Algiers and caliente in Morocco. This beloved traditional dish traces its origins back to Spanish influence during the colonial period, as its name is derived from the Spanish word calentita, which means warm. Over time, what began as a humble filling meal for the working class evolved into one of the Algeria's and Morocco's most cherished street foods, often enjoyed by people of all ages and backgrounds. That is so true. I think I forgot another one that we have in Peru that is called papa rellena. It's basically a stuffed potato, a stuffed fried potato.
Mm.
So the potato is fried and stuffed with a lot of meat and olives, and it's extremely good. I think papa rellena deserves also a mention here. But yeah, there you go. So number one apparently is Algeria. So
You know it, man.
I know, but you were so close. I think you got number what? You had two on the list, actually.
Number two.
You got number 10 and I think only number 10 then, huh?
Yeah, just number 10. This is biased.
I mean, Peru is in the list and it's number 7. So
Yeah,
I agree with you. This is bias. Should be number 1,
yeah,
antiquaches. And it's not the case.
yeah.
But there you go. Taste Atlas. Is it a good source? You
Debate.
decide.
We're the new reliable source in town.
Hey, what do you think about all these crazy videos that I've seen online about the Indian street food? Like they're funny, but sometimes they are like over the top.
Yeah. Report it, block it, don't watch it. It's a brain rot.
I've seen this very highly edited videos of people like, using this crazy audios of bombs and
Helicopter, helicopter.
exactly that one. So, yeah, I mean, they're funny. They're so funny, but I just don't want people to get the idea that, street food in India is like that. I guess they understand it's a joke, right?
Right. So, I mean, there's a reason why this person is making these videos. Um, it's entertaining, it's fun, and then that's why they add like these funny effects, which is good because they get like I think one of them I saw was like 56 million. Was that right? 56
Wow.
million views? Like, wow,
That's a lot of views.
that's a lot of views indeed. Um,
That's like a small town in India.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. This guy. Uh, yeah. So now I forgot what I was gonna say.
Choose
Uh,
wisely.
choose wisely. But also there's some, um, reputable, like, for example, like in Hyderabad, like there's some really, really popular places like that you go to. that are prepared with, proper, like they have like filter water that they use, and like it's made in a certain way, and like
Yeah.
it's reliable. They've been there. And right now, I'm sure with like Google reviews and stuff, like things are easier. And then you just ask like, your local people, like, okay, which one is healthy, or like which one is, which one would you recommend? So there's a lot of
Yeah.
places, and you don't have to go with a biased view of like, okay, all Indian street food are bad, because that's not the case. Like, there's going to be places pretty much anywhere and everywhere that are like that, right?
Exactly.
At least to some degree of it, varying degrees of it.
Yeah.
Um, it's just a
Absolutely. I mean, that
balance of,
happens, like you say, everywhere, right? I mean,
yeah,
I recently traveled to another country, and of course, as a tourist, I was making sure I was eating from a place that I believe, was always um, kind of like following all the basic, things you have to follow when you're manipulating food, right? Like the most sanitary places possible. So I would do that, and you have to do that everywhere you go,
yeah,
right? And sometimes you will find this, um, you know, street food like we see in those videos that are very over the top and funny, but that's what you can see everywhere. I remember me in Peru watching the news, right? And people being like, hey, you know what? We're gonna close this establishment because we see rats, or because of this reason, because they need to improve their sanitary conditions. So it happens everywhere. It happens in the city, it happens
mhm,
in the Andean region, the rainforest. It happens everywhere. There's always people that are trying to just make money out of what they sell, but they don't consider too much about the sanitary aspect of things. But they just want to make a living. So that happens everywhere. It's just you as a customer also. They have, you have the right to decide where you want to eat, and you have the right to, buy something that it's good for you, that is not going to compromise your health.
yeah,
Um, and at the same time, you have to choose wisely. This could happen everywhere.
yeah. And sometimes, it could even happen in like nicest of restaurants, right? Like, say
Yeah,
one
that's true.
employee, or like somebody didn't wash their hands, and all of
Yeah,
a sudden you have an a bit upset stomach. And
that's true. That's true.
thanks to this conversation, I am reminded of the importance of the relationships. This is not just about food and you satisfying your taste buds and your craving or whatever, but it's the experience. I think this is why we travel. This is why, um, and it's not just food for, your organs. It's also food for your soul, right? Like, you're nourished in various ways. You have a memory that lasts a lifetime. You have sometimes wisdom or knowledge that, that helps you at some point in your life. Um, and other times it's just a fun experience that you get to connect with others. And, and then, and this becomes something that becomes a gateway to other experiences.
That's beautiful. Yeah, I could not say it any better. Uh, it's a relationship, right, that you build when you try, mm, street food around the world, basically. And now that flavor, that, you know, that food you tried in this country or this other country now becomes familiar and becomes something you want to talk about, right? Then you meet someone else and you're like, oh yeah, when I was in Japan, I tried this, you know, meat with some vegetables, and it's called this,
Yeah.
and you would just want to share. You just want to share what you just experience.
Yeah. There's some
So,
strong contenders for sushi also. It's not just about sushi. But
oh
sorry, go
yeah,
on.
absolutely. But it's just something you want to share, right? It's like you want them to also experience, and you start describing, right? Oh yeah, it's crispy, and it's creamy, and it's savory, and you start using all these adjectives that sometimes don't feel like they are enough to
Yeah.
convey how great was for you to try that.
Mhm.
So I like that excitement, how, this kind of street food is not part of your daily life. It's not from from where you're from, but it's from another country, from another culture, and somehow now you feel like it's also something very close to you. Now you have the idea of you planning to come back to that place only to try that food again, only to feel that experience again, because it involves so many things. Maybe it was the first time you were traveling
Mm.
by yourself. Maybe it was the first time you were traveling with your mom, with your daughter, with your brother, with your sister, and
Mhm.
now it becomes a whole experience. And when you try that dish again, it yeah, it's tasty, but it's also not only, like you said, it's not only for your tongue, for your taste buds, but it's also good for your soul. It's also good for your heart. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you for the beautiful conversation. Also, like honorable mentions to like peanuts and salted, roasted vatana that are turmeric laced and kaju, um, and then like ice cream because we love ice cream.
Okay. Okay. According to Test Atlas, best Peruvian street food types. Okay. So anticuchos I mentioned, papa rellena I mentioned, salchipapa. How did I forget about salchipapa? Choclo con queso. I almost forgot about that one. I
Oh,
got bro.
I should also mention samosa. Oh my God. Samosa. And there's also um, tiny little version of samosas. They used to be filled with onions and green peas, if I'm not mistaken. My mouth is watering as I speak.
Bro,
Um,
you forgot about samosa.
I know, I'm sorry. So samosa, kachori, uh, different kinds of samosas. Like samosas in Hyderabad, bro, that are made by like these people from like Calcutta Sweet House, um, and Rajasthani people. Like they're so good, bro.
Bro, you
Um,
forgot about samosas.
I know, man.
There's no way back.
I yeah. I'm trying to divert people's
Can you
attention.
say a few words to all the samosa lovers out there?
Samosa, if you were to like cut my heart open,
Yeah,
there's a special place for samosas in that
there's a
heart.
samosa.
There's a samosa there. And then there's also like bel puri, people like that stuff. There's batata. Maharashtra has some like bomb street food called batata vada, and then misal pav, vada pav. Oh, bro, I can't believe I forgot vada pav. Pav bhaji I mentioned, thank God. And yeah, dabeli, bomb. Dabeli is amazing. Um, But yeah, I think we've covered decent ground for street food. I know you're there. I forgot about dhokla. I forgot about patra. I forgot about what else did I forget about? There's so much. There's just so much. I there is there's chudwa. Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot chudwa. Samosa. Of course I mentioned samosa. Um, yeah, there's just so much more.